In the Caribbean, each island has its own version of a stew. Today, we are focusing on a Guyanese stew called pepper pots. And what really characterizes this dish is an ingredient called casserie. Casserie is made with cassava that is grated, juiced, and then reduced into a form of molasses. We then take this molasses and use it as a part of our marinade. Then we're going to be braising our pepper pots and pairing it with dumplings. Enjoy! We're going to start by making our marinade. I'm going to add whole garlic, ginger, Scotch bonnet, thyme, cloves, juniper berries, allspice, star anise, peppercorns, cinnamon, bay leaf. We're going to be adding orange juice and zest, dark rum. Now we cannot forget our rum in the Caribbean. The main flavor profile in this is casserie. Now casserie is from cassava. So basically the cassava is peeled, grated, juiced, and then it's allowed to reduce. So the sugars make this dark syrupy consistency, which makes the casserie. And that's gonna be the main flavor in our short ribs. So I'm going to submerge our short ribs in this wonderful marinade. It smells of rum and rich flavors. And then I'm going to take my hands and work it in so that the meat fully absorbs all those wonderful flavors overnight. So we've removed our meat from our marinade, pat dry, ensure that we got as much liquid off as possible. And now we're going to strain our marinade and reserve the liquid. So now we begin seasoning our meat. I'm seasoning with salt, ground pepper, and Wonder flour. Now, Wonder flour is pre-cooked, it's ground very finely, and it's also known as instant flour. So what that means is the starches instantly dissolve into whatever sauce that you have. What we want to start with is a hot pan. I'm going to coat it lightly with oil. So what's happening here is a Maillard reaction, and that's basically when amino acids get into the contact of heat and all of the wonderful sugars start to caramelize, giving us that yummy umami flavor. It's very important that we pat dry the meat, and that allows for no moisture so that we have a wonderful even sear. Another point to note is that we don't want to overcrowd our pan when we're searing, because that will produce a lot of moisture and we won't get that wonderful caramelization going on. I'm going to be adding some mirepoix to my pot. And what mirepoix basically is, it's 2 part onions, 1 part carrot, 1 part celery, and we're going to serve 2 purposes. It's going to put a lot of flavor into our pepper pot, and it's going to act as a bed so that our short ribs don't really burn when it reaches the surface in the oven. I'm going to add my short ribs back to my pan, and now we add our veal stock. And now we're adding back our marinade. And now we're going to cover, reduce to a simmer, and place it in the oven. And it's very important that we check it every half an hour just to monitor it, make sure it needs a little bit liquid if we need to top it back up, until fork tender. So we're going to remove the short ribs from our braising pot and strain our sauce. I'm going to take some of my hot liquid from my short rib, and I'm going to add cornstarch to that and give it a good whisk. I'm going to add my liquid back to my pot and add the slurry, whisking continually. So we allow that to come to a boil so that it reaches the consistency of what we call a nappe. In other words, we put it coats the back of the spoon fully. Then we're going to add our short ribs back to our sauce and finish. We are ready to plate. So I have my dumplings and of course our short ribs.